Okay, hello and welcome everyone to this Warcraft replay. This is going to be a tournament replay here on the map Turtle Rock. We have Fly spawning in as the purple orc player in the top left, and his opponent is going to be Chaemiko, the brown human in the bottom right. Brown is such a weird looking color. I was gonna say disgusting looking, but I guess that's a little too much. So yeah, tournament. This is from the Golden Championship Series, the GCS. And yeah, it hasn't actually been casted by other people. Barring Ted, of course, who of course just cast the game in Chinese, so English cast would be nice. And yeah, we actually have a couple of things to talk about. First off, Game 1 has not been uploaded. I have no idea where that is. As far as I can tell, it was a quick, cheesy game. Chaemiko going for Fire Load first into, I think it was Tower Rush, and Fly just didn't actually expect that happening, and yeah, it got boned. Either way, this is going to be Game 2, and we might have a Game 3 if Fly is able to tie it up. Otherwise, Chaemiko would just be going towards representing Group B, as this is the finals of the Losers Series. And yeah, I haven't actually been following the GCS too much. This is GCS Summer of 2018, so I mean, it's still ongoing. The playoffs is currently underway, and yeah, just casting videos from that instead, because the replay site has actually been flooded with the replays from that tournament. Something we see here is that Fly is going for Farseer first. We have been seeing a little bit of the resurgence of Farseers lately. I'm not entirely sure what the reason could be. I mean, it's not even 1.29 yet. I have looked at 1.29 yesterday and was pretty surprised that the Blade Master was actually touched. So if you guys didn't know, the Blade Master will be nerfed. I'm not sure to the degree of the nerf, but he will be dealing less damage based on the damage up items he gets, specifically claws and circlet. So that would be rather interesting. I still think that, actually I'm not even sure about the circlet. I think stat increasing items will still be calculated with crit strike. I'm not sure if flat attack bonuses will, but either way, Farseer also got pretty good buffs as well. Specifically, Spirit Wolves will be feeding less experience over, but other than that, I think they also got a little bit of health, and that's pretty much that. So expect to see more Farseers maybe, and that is definitely not a bad thing to see. A little interesting that the Farseer has been picked as the first hero for Fly this game, because he does have a bit of a timer. Chaemiko can easily go Spellbreakers and just counteract the possible chain lightning and maybe Shockwave from the Turn Chieftain. I'm not sure if Fly is actually going to go for that or not, if he's just going to go Lone Farseer, or he might get, I don't know, a Blade Master to support the Farseer or not, but yeah, we shall have to wait and see, as both players are pretty much just doing what they're doing here. Farseer able to deny that one Spirit Wolf, and he might be able to do so here as well, or he could just summon just a freshly new one. Farseer is just going to Lightning Bolt that wolf. Tier 2, about 75% done for Chaemiko. Meanwhile, Fly, I believe, should be nearing completion himself. This is pretty much what the Farseer has done in the last NetEase ladder game, where we had Lin basically use Spirit Wolves to pressure the main base of the human player, or just any opponent really, to stop them from actually nearing nearing your base, so you can just freely take up without any sort of worry. And so far it seemed to work well, but it seems like Chaemiko has finally got some reprieve, and he might even go for some bestiary cancellations here, as double bestiary has been placed down for Fly, and the Shadowhunter is going to come out as the second hero for the Orc. So interesting, it's going to be double casters here. Shadowhunter, not really clear on the units that could abuse the Hex, but I mean, I guess if Spirit Wolves get a couple of additional levels, then that would be pretty nice because they're kind of mini Blade Masters themselves because they can crit as well. Beastmaster pops out as the second hero for Chaemiko, and the first bestiary did get cancelled. Orc Burrow is on the way to being destroyed, and it seems like it will do so indeed. Both human heroes have actually been taken to very low health levels, and the Beastmaster himself is actually trapped inside the base of Fly and is going to get hex trapped here without any sort of actually saving himself. He is just going to fall at level 1, so rather unfortunate for Chaemiko, only able to take down that one Orc Burrow and might actually lose himself. The Archmage is going to get that TP scroll out right before getting killed. Chain lightning just wasn't strong enough, and well, I mean, that was extremely close. Either way, Chaemiko lost himself, I guess, a couple of footmen and his Beastmaster, in addition to his TP scroll, only for cancellation on that bestiary and a single burrow, so I'm not entirely sure if that was worth it or not for Chaemiko. I think he lost quite a bit compared to his opponent. Army supplies is pretty even, as the Beastmaster is being revived through the altar, and it seems like the vault has not even been placed down, or at least completed, so the Archmage is also relegated back to his main base until he finally gets that healing scroll, so a lot of dead time basically for the human player. Meanwhile, Fly on the other hand is just freely farming, not really trapped in his own base, is able to use his time efficiently. Double Sanctums have been completed for Chaemiko. His vault hasn't been finished yet, so breakers will take a while, but with Double Priest should be able to top up that Archmage very nicely. Unless Fly, of course, goes in for some harassment. It seems like he's just going to go for a second turtle camp, as his Shadow Hunter picked up the greater mana potion. Will prove to be very useful when it comes to spamming those heals, as well as spamming any hexes if he needs to. Chaemiko has spotted Fly nearby and is going to try and interrupt him, hex onto the Archmage, bring him down to about orange health, but the Shadowhunter also needs to be careful himself, is going to toss a healing wave to himself, and the Orc units are going to be sped up with the Speed Scroll Ensnare onto the Archmage, and we could potentially have a surround here. No real wave actually saving the Archmage, and a Chain Lightning will be able to finish him off. Nicely picked up there for the Orc player, but now it seems like it is going to be the Shadowhunter's turn. Farseer has been slowed, so it's going to take a very long time to transfer over that TP scroll, and it seems like a trade for trade is going to happen. Level 3 on the Farseer will give him those crit wolves. Whenever they decide to crit, they're just going to maul that single sorceress, and bit of a risky fight for Chaemiko to stick around. His units are not that tanky, and then is going to get sliced up pretty easily with those wolves and grunt/raiders there. Another footman is going to bite the dust, and right now army supplies are looking pretty good for Fly. He is about 10 supply ahead, and he is choosing to stay. Oh, is going to actually deny his own grunt. I think he was scot-free, but I guess he didn't really want to take the risk. Now the real problem is that Fly is looking to actually stick around a little too much here, and is getting overwhelmed by the reinforcements coming in from Chaemiko. He is still sticking around, and that is a little bit surprising to me, as I mean, yeah, only a single raider and his wolves are left. Meanwhile, Chaemiko could easily bring in a couple more casters here, a couple more militia as well, and yeah, it seems like Fly is going to incur some losses as well. Is going to lose that raider as well as burn that TP scroll, so maybe he stayed a little too much there for Fly. Archmage is now back and in action. We'll be able to take down this very low hit point Gargantuan Sea Turtle, dropping potentially a health pot. Health pot would be really good, but it seems like it's just going to be the Scroll of the Beast, so not too great, especially since his opponent chose to go Spirit Walkers instead of continuing that double bestiary route. It is just going to be standard bestiary Spirit Lodge, but instead of raiders, Fly has started to produce Wind Riders, so they will be they'll be alright, I guess. They do quite a bit against the casters of Chaemiko. The only problem is the casters can fight back, so and of course there's a Beastmaster with Cool Beast, there's Water Elementals as well, so quite a bit of anti-air for the human players, so choosing to Wind Riders instead of Raiders, we'll have to see if that will work out or not. We did see there that Fly actually got pretty lucky with his item drops. Hood of Cunning is probably the best dual stat item for the Shadow Hunter, and yeah, he also got the Tome of Experience, so is able to get that quick level 3. Meanwhile over here, Chaemiko will be able to get level 3 on his Beastmaster as well, and we should be seeing Frenzy Beasts very soon. Scroll of the Beast is going to get sold, and an invuln as well as the healing scroll will be picked up instead. Archmage gonna sell his just one ring. I guess just one ring. I guess he didn't really like 2 rings instead. And here comes an attack here on the human base. I believe a TP scroll will have to be purchased there, as yeah, none of them actually had it. Where is it going to TP onto? He's actually going to TP onto the Shadow Hunter and is going to quickly burst him down. Healing Wave should be coming down, but honestly, with so many units on top of that Shadow Hunter, the TP scroll is going to be forced. Night Chain Lightning there to pick up just a peasant. Actually, I think I heard a Wyvern getting killed as well, so single Wyvern in exchange for a peasant, definitely in favor of Chaemiko. And both players burnt their own TP scrolls, so ooh, not too good trades here for Fly, but hopefully he will be able to stay on top of it. Lots of Spellbreakers out now for Chaemiko, so needs to be careful, Fly. If Chaemiko ever gets to Castle Tech, he could definitely pick up the what is it? The summoned unit spell control kind of thing. I completely forgot what it was called, but you can basically steal your opponent's summon units, which is another reason why I was actually confused on the Farseer pick there, but I guess Chaemiko's not actually gonna go for any Castle Tech, at least just yet. Here we go, Wind Rider is still pretty much uncontested. The Quill Beast is pretty much the only units going after it, but the Elementals should also contribute their DPS to those air units as well. Spellbreakers can easily just hold on against those Raiders there, but the Wind Riders are still being unmatched, really. Speed Scroll is going to add some pressure onto the human player here, as the armor supplies is pretty much 10 supply difference. Dire Wolves are constantly being resummoned, just being topped up in terms of health. Quill Beast is going to get taken down by a nice Chain Lightning. That is going to be the last for the Farseer. Wind Rider finally being brought down to low health, but the Shadow Hunter is at the back, recouping his mana with a Clarity, so he should be able to toss the Healing Wave very soon. There we go. And yeah, it's almost still 10 supply difference. Farseer is gonna hit level 5, and now here comes the Shadow Wolves. We did hear pretty much all the Wind Riders being taken down except for one, but now that the Shadow Wolves are in play, things are gonna be a little different. Those Spellbreakers need to put a lot more work into a lot more effort into their work now, since a lot more scarier of units have actually shown up. Raiders have been dealt with, Wind Riders have been dealt with, but now Shadow Wolves are a bit of a problem, a lot tankier, and of course do a little bit more damage. I think they do like 20 more damage when it comes to critting, so I guess every little bit counts. Hawk has been learnt, so we'll be actually able to spot those invisible wolves. A little curious on the Hawk itself. I guess just thinking about that level 4 where you can get that Thunderhawk, but the bear could have helped as well, I guess, in terms of the front line. Chaemiko actually needs to start focusing on priests, I think, because he needs that dispel in order for those wolves to be just taken out of the game, or at least forced to resummon, because they are going to be a bit of a problem. Spellbreakers don't do too well against these guys. and of course they have to deal with the raiders as well. Is gonna go for the turtle camp over here. Meanwhile, here comes an attack from Fly. Seems like only a single arcane tower, and it's already halved, so it's not going to deal with these shadows anytime soon. And the farms are the next target. Nope, it seems like Fly is going to look for a big fight here. Army supplies have pretty much closed a little bit. Actually, now it has widened a little bit since the spellbreakers have been taken down there. Almost 10 supply difference yet again. The Farseer is still at level 5 and he has plenty of mana for more Spirit Wolves. Shadow Hunter does have a mana pot available as well, so he can keep tossing out those hexes slash healing waves. And yeah, you can see the Spirit Wolves are going to get lowered a little bit, but as soon as that happens, all the Farseer needs to do is just resummon. Thunderhawk is now in the air, and hopefully things can turn around a little bit since they do very well against those Spirit Wolves. Speed Scroll once again going to be used by Fly, and I think he's just going to pull back after taking down that Spellbreaker. There we go. Going for another wave of healing, and I believe he is just going to turn around instead of recouping. And the Beastmaster needs to be a little careful there, dropping down to 300 health. He does have the invuln, but I mean, it is only 7 seconds, so he needs to be extra careful not to be too far ahead. Thunderhawk is going to get ensnared, and that will be the air support down for the human player. Another wave of Shadow Wolves are coming in, and here comes an ensnare onto the Beastmaster. Chain ensnare is going to force the invuln of the Beastmaster there. Sorceress is still doing a lot in terms of slowing. Pretty much all those units are slowed, but is that going to be enough to take down this? Yeah, still 10 supply difference. It does not look like it. I mean, the sorceresses are too fixated on those wolves that the grunts and raiders are just slowly packing and slashing their way to it. Beastmaster needs to be extra careful yet again because he does not have invuln available. Double ensnare, and it seems like the Beastmaster is going to get taken down and the Farseer is going to get that level 6. Unfortunately, Earthquake. No Earthquake, no level 3 Chain Lightning. That is just going to be game. And Fly is going to tie this up 1-all. And yeah, we'll just go into game 3.